Hello everyone, my name is Crystal and the channel is Vintage Booth Pro. This channel is dedicated to everything antique booth, vintage booth, craft fair, vendor fair related. So if you are a vintage booth owner or are interested in that in any way, subscribe, like this video so more of my videos will show up in the future. So I have been taking a little bit of a break over the summer. Life just got a little crazy, but I'm back and I'm here to share some of the top selling items in antique booths based on feedback from my Facebook group members. So if you aren't already a member of my Facebook group, we have, I think, over 12,000 members now, which is just insane. But I post every day what I sell, and a lot of the other members do as well. And then we like to go back and reflect on the previous month and show what sold over $50. And this is the post that I made this month. And unfortunately, since I'm getting back into the swing of things, I totally messed up and said August. I meant July. We're currently in August. And so some of the things that follow might have been sold in July or August. So let's just roll with it. It's not such a huge deal in the overall scheme of things, but just a very quick adding up of everything is over $10,800 in sales for antique booths. So hang tight. There is a lot of information. So I'm just going to read what the booth owners wrote with little commentary on my end because we had a lot of sales in this past month. So let's get started. Okay, Godfrey put legs on it and a new back, wood top, and painted it. So I had about $120 into it. Sold for $500. My booth is Trader May's in Apopka, Florida. She said she did not include the hours spent working on it, though. Beautiful piece. We sold this wine/coffee bar for $300. It was free, but we have money in the Victorian sconces, wiring, paint, wood paneling for back. My husband turned the bottom drawers into a cabinet. Aunt Barbie's attic in Ocala Antique Mall, and that is Ocala, Florida. I am in SoCal, business name Oceanside Antique and Collectibles. And so for the following ones, you just have to look at the picture. This hand chair paid $40, sold for $200. This, I believe it's Pyrex, got for free, sold for $84. I'm not sure what you call this, kind of the telephone, the secretary seat, paid $60, sold for $185. This glass head figure paid $25, sold for $65. And I believe this chair and cushion got free, sold for $180. And a couple of glasses paid $50, sold for $80. And this piece, the reddish one, paid $68, sold for $145. And another piece, I can't really see what that is, paid $25, sold for $81. Either way, they had a great month. I purchased this 3-tiered pie crust table at auction for $45, sold for $145. Seashore Vintage, booth G4 in Painted Tree Boutiques, Virginia Beach. This Fenton Burmese uranium glass hand-painted blush rose pattern vase, $50, inherited from Aunt's estate, Smith & Company Vintage Market, Marietta, Ohio. Lamps bought for $10 each, sold for $75 each. Found by word of mouth, someone was getting rid of them, and my hairdresser asked if I wanted them. Booth name, Ponchos, Picks, and Pieces in Buford, Georgia at Queen of Hearts. The booth is uncovering treasures at Louisville Trading Company. So far, I've sold this Dixie brand chest of drawers. I paid $70 for it at Peddler's Auction, and I refinished it in Fluff by Dixie Belle Paint Company, replaced the knobs, and sold it for $210. Bought this table for $5, sold for $150. It was covered in tissue paper and Mod Podge. That's a lot of work. These chairs were free, sold for $100. There are two. My booth is Doty's Vintage Designs, booth A301 in Lone Star Mercantile in Allen, Texas. Also, this mirror sold for $169. So, purchased for $6. This chandelier from the same vendor from our home redo sold for $100. Next, booth owner MCM bar cart was nasty, and I the reason why I got it for $1 at a yard sale. I cleaned it up and painted it all black. It sold for $119 within 24 hours of putting it in my Oklahoma City booth at Rink Gallery. I found this rough 8.5 foot church pew at a local Goodwill for $20 and sold it for $125 within 1 month of placing it in my DKG Signs and Boxes booth at Tontitown Antique Mall in Tontitown, Arkansas. Bought this book for $2 at a last minute garage sale stop as she was closing up for the day. Just sold for $60 2 days ago in my booth, 26E at American Gothic Antiques. That is 236 Main Street, Stillwater, Minnesota. It was a 1936 first edition, second printing. I sold this in July for $79 at one of my booths in Pensacola, Florida, and paid $8 at a local thrift shop in Jacksonville, Florida. She says it was not Goodwill, so I like visiting thrift stores other than Goodwill as well. Okay, this Italian leather chair picked up for free and sold for $165. This is Relic and Beam booth at the Country Store Consignment and Antique Mall in Walla Walla, Washington. Next up, this dresser I picked up for $40 from an estate sale, cleaned it up and oiled it, sold for $159 5 minutes after moving it into my booth. And I am located in Country Store, Consignment and Antique Mall, Relic and Beam booth. I also have a Facebook page for the booth too, which does help getting things seen. If I tag the store, they are really good about sharing the post on their Facebook page. That is a great tip. I purchased this antique dresser from a Facebook Marketplace post. I went to pick up another item and asked if she had any other items. I left with 6 pieces of furniture and vintage glassware for $80 and sold the dresser for $125. My booth is D16 in the Old Town Variety Mall in Morristown, Tennessee. Next up, purchased a set of 5 Broyhill Brasilia dining chairs for $25 and sold the set for $500. Easiest, most exciting flip for me yet. Booth is the Vintage Vault right outside Mobile, Alabama. Same vendor was given the vintage gumball machine for free and sold it for $79. Purchased the wingback chair for $25 and sold it for $75. And that is the Vintage Vault right outside of Mobile, Alabama. Sold for $200 in 1 hour of being brought in, and I sold the same lady 3 other pieces of glass. My total cost of 4 pieces was $18 from another glass dealer. My booth is in Pickers Paradise Antique Mall, Niles, Michigan. We also sold this, roll top computer desk in the same mall, Elizabethton's Village Antique and Home Decor Mall. We got it at auction for, I think, $20 and sold it for $150. It took a while to sell, so we took an offer on it before the buyer had a chance to change his mind. I am Grin and Grandma on YouTube and all of our online sales venues. Our booth name/number, though, is TLM in all the shops where we have booths. And I know that I said the name of that wrong. We sold this waterfall chest of drawers in Elizabethton's Village Antiques and Home Decor Mall. We sold it for $225 and it was given to us. My husband replaced the wheels under it and cleaned it with Howard's Furniture Restore. Everything else was original, including those beautiful handles. And again, that is Grin and Grandma on YouTube and social media. This is the $6 Million Man lunchbox with thermos, no rust, purchased for $17.50 at an auction, sold for $60. And that is Nana and Pop's Collectibles in Virginia. I sell at a consignment store and I've never tried furniture before, but I saw this little $30 coffee table for sale on a day I had a $10 reward at the thrift store. So I decided to try. It sold for $125 in a few days. I think the price was a bit low, but instead of looking cool retro chrome, it edged a bit towards condemned kinder care. So I wasn't sure if I should push it, but I think it's a good sell. Painted up furniture and decor, booth number 38, vintage cabinet door wall hanging, free from my old kitchen. I made with products costing around $6, sold for $60. This is Brass Lantern Antiques and Decorators, 622 Trenton Avenue, Point Pleasant Beach, New Jersey. I sold this kids' table and chair set. It was a Pottery Barn set that I got in an estate sale for $20 on half off day. I got it home and painted the set because the chairs were red and the table was a different maroon color. Painting this took forever, so by the time I put it in my booth, I was ready for it to go. It sold a few weeks later for $75 along with a pastel crochet blanket for $12, also purchased at an estate sale for a few bucks. My booth is called the She Shed, located at the Hillview Peddlers Mall in Louisville, Kentucky. I found this 80s serigraph for $8 at the thrift and sold it for $64 in Seattle. The customer sent me a pic on my Savvy Vintage Shop Instagram of it in her home surrounded by disco balls. This cute chalk painted chest of drawers sold for $70 in DKG Signs booth at Tontitown Antique Mall in Tontitown, Arkansas. I picked it up at a yard sale a few months ago for $20. It was in great condition, so all I had to do was load it in the booth, and those are my favorite too. I bought this chest of drawers for $40. I refinished it and sold it for $119.50 five business days after I moved it into my store. My booth is Forever Jazzy at the Tin Cup Market in Jasper, Alabama. I bought this gorgeous vintage floral chair and matching ottoman for $30. I sold it for $55. My booth again is Forever Jazzy in Jasper, Alabama. I bought this Hoosier style cabinet at an auction for $70 and sold it for $250 in my booth at the Old Pass in Mountain Home, Arkansas at Crocodile Dreams Flea Market. I took an offer on this balancing fisherman for $60 and I sold a large Higgins MCM purple and green striped glass bowl for $58.50 after a 10% discount. No picture of that one. I'm at booth 517 in the Maple Street Mall in Mason, Michigan. It's a tongue twister. My wrought iron flamingo sold for $75. Out of my booth in Apple Tree Antique Gallery in Bethany, Oklahoma. I paid $15 for it at an estate sale last fall. Faded and rather rusty looking, but I loved it and kept it around for my own use and made it part of our Christmas decorations. This summer, I painted it watermelon pink and gave her some black button eyes. She made her grand entrance in my booth at the beginning of July and sold 2 weeks later. I took a best offer of $100 for this peacock chair that had slight damage on the back. I purchased it for $25 at a local Mission Point thrift. The booth name is the Studio 51, located inside Antiques, Treasures, and More at 367 Highway 231, Ozark, Alabama. I bought this wine cabinet from Facebook Marketplace for $15. I'm at the Colorado Antique Gallery in Denver, Colorado, booth BC. Vintage Limoges BH Cadeau France white and gold oyster plate for $95. And this was at Secondhand Lions Emporium in Stewart, Florida. I bought this onyx and brass Mueller table for $14.99, sold for $175. My booth is in Victoria Village, Snohomish, Washington. I found this on our local Reno County buy-sell trade for $50. Cleaned it and used wax and feed on it. It sold for $145. My booth is Kath's Keepsakes at Long Ago Antiques, Hutchinson, Kansas, 110 North Main. Sold my chippy gray-white hutch on an offer for $200. Waste not upcycled. Great Lakes Antiques Boutique in Antioch, Illinois. Got it free, sat on it for a while, was all wood, very beat up. Paint and dressed, I pivoted a couple times while working on this hutch. And I think we've all been there. I got this antique radio cabinet for free from a downsizing vendor in Dawsonville, Georgia. I kept for 3 years, finally cleaned it up, painted and sold for $100. My booth is in Queen of Hearts, Beaufort, Georgia, King Street. And they also sent a picture of what it looks like on the inside. Steve and I with the Weathered Fence Post are pretty excited to share this month's over 50 item. We took a risk on this piece when we found it in Goodwill for $24.99. It was big and we felt either someone would love it or hate it. It is a relief art fiberglass piece from the MCM era, dated 1966, by Jay Segura. It took up quite a bit of space in our booth inside Antiques at Gresham Lake in Raleigh, North Carolina. We placed it on 628 and did a video post to our Facebook page to promote it. It sold on 7/8 for $89.99. It was priced very well to move quickly. We made a profit, the mom made money, and the person got a great piece of MCM artwork at a fantastic price. It was a fun sale. I paid $20 for this desk while on a trip to PA. Sold it for $65. Booth number 68 at Antique to Chic Vendor Market in Jacksonville, North Carolina. I found this old mirror in an abandoned house across from my grandparents' home, so got it for free. I almost sold it for $50, but ended up selling it for $45. Bought this MCM painting called Beyond the Galaxies for $20, sold it for $70. This is Bryant's Antique Mall, Franklin, North Carolina, booth 989. Purchased this pomegranate floral design armchair off Facebook Marketplace for $75 and sold while on sale for $200. These are all from my new booth, Vintage Meets Mod and G11 at the Mercantile Antiques and Uniques in Altamont Springs, Florida. So hang tight. They had an awesome July, and thank you so much for sharing all of these beautiful pieces. Purchase this framed print Cockatoo and Amaryllis by Lizzie Riches at a local auction house for $14 and sold for $185. Purchased this large cut to clear glass space at an actual mall, LOL. A state company has a storefront there for leftover items or someone can't have a sale in their own home. Oh, that's interesting. For $43 and sold for $125. Purchased a set of these bright floral chairs at a local auction house for $29 each, and I sold one of them for $115. Purchased the pair of these art pieces by Henri Nozu, depicting famous Paris landmarks at an estate sale for $14 total, and they both sold for $190 total. Purchased this coffee table book about Picasso at an estate sale for $5 and sold it for $60. Purchased this framed art piece depicting Notre Dame at a local auction house for $8, sold while on sale for $60. Purchased this red velvet upholstered settee bench at Salvation Army for $60 and sold for $175. Purchased this federal style mahogany buffet at an auction house for $245. And the same person who bought the settee also bought this for $495 after I had just dropped the price to get bigger pieces moving. Husband purchased this painting by Bert Nooner at the end of a garage sale for $5, and it sold for $85. And I did mess up on the location here because they have multiple booths. And this is Vintage Meets Mod in booth 275 at Lakeland Antique Mall in Lakeland, Florida. So the next few are also in that same location. Husband purchased this Members Mark Angel at an estate sale for $11, and it sold while on sale for $60.80. Purchased this Mad Hatter Yard Art sprinkler at an estate sale for $16, and it sold while on sale for $60. This Drexel Heritage wing bag paid $40, found on Facebook Marketplace, sold for $265. She Shed Creations, located in the Annex building at the shops at Marlboro Barn, 45 North Main Street, Marlboro, Connecticut. Bought these two brown lamps for $5 at a yard sale. Painted them and added nude shades. Sold for $65. Mackenzie Antique Mall, Mackenzie, Tennessee, Horizon Hill Vintage. Formal sofa and chair sold for $180. Got it at an online auction for $550. L26 at Rolls Roost Treasures in Springfield, Antique Barn, Springfield, Tennessee. And they say, I love these kinds of posts/shares. I bought this large Capodimonte planner for $10 in May, and it's been moved around all over the place in the booth since then. It finally found a home yesterday, sold for $64. I purchased this mini bar on Facebook Marketplace for $40. I fixed broken bits and refinished it. I sold it for $350 at Reliques Longview in Longview, Washington. My booth is Legacy Scrapworks, and here is another angle of the piece. I found this in Claremore, Oklahoma, paid $42 and sold for $89. My booth is Mimi's Vintage, and I'm located inside Freakin' Antiquin' Vintage Market at 2259 E. Bennett, Springfield, Missouri. Arnell's mushroom canisters, paid $10 for them at a yard sale, and they sold for $99.95. My booth is Mixed Mud Emporium, and we are located at Highway Pickers in Coleman, Alabama. This antique desk I purchased at an estate sale for $60 and sold for $299. My booth is Graham's Vintage Cottage in Braxton's Antique Mall in Loganville, Georgia. I purchased this velvet cast iron stool for $24 and it sold for $72. We are Coastal Crown Vintage at Hunt and Gather in Norfolk, Virginia. And I sold this 5-piece Longaberger canister and Krog set for $160. Originally priced at $200, but was running a 20% off sale. I paid $38 for it at a thrift store. After cost of goods and commissions, I made $102, and this is booth 21 at Old Wagon Antique Mall in North Glen, Colorado. And I think that is our last one. So that is over $10,000 in sales for July/some of August 2024. If you would like to be included in future videos like that, be sure to join our Facebook group. I have the link in the description below, and let me know what you sold that was over $50. I look forward to hearing from you all. And if you like these What Sold videos, you can learn what's selling in antique malls across the United States and across the world. I'm going to link some more videos, like a playlist, so you can continue watching. And I'll see you on the next one. Thanks so much.